Good day, everybody. Good day, good day. Happy Monday. Moon day? Will it be a moon day? We'll see. Monday does have a history of being called Moon Day. Tuesday would be what? Looks like we're live. Ask any questions that you got or any comments and questions. Put them in the chat. Jump on Spaces. Ask live. Good day, good day.
What's up, Banana? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good.
Awesome.
Still busy at work. My son's got some rash or something going on, so I'm kind of worrying about that the last day, but doctor said it was just, I forget what they said, but just to wait a day or so.
Yeah, those things go away. They go away. We were on a lake. We were on a lake over the weekend, and we're done motoring around on the lake. We pulled up to get the boats out and such, and the search and rescue was there, and we heard about a tragic story. Family lost their 6-year-old son on the lake. I won't describe how, but I tell you what, it just made me appreciate, my kids and everybody being safe.
Yeah, that's super sad.
Yeah, and it really helped. I even used this story a little bit in one of the chats I'm in because crypto wasn't doing stellar on the weekend, and I just dropped that in there, just the highlights, and it really resonated with people because it just brings it down, to your level. Like I was explaining to my wife, I says, man, crypto might be hurting right now. Well, on PulseChain a little bit, okay, but I mean, keep your perspective. We're not having a funeral for a family member this week, so we have it really good, honestly.
Yeah, and prices are still up, right? Like, I think people tend to forget just a month or a month and a half ago, Pulse was like half the price as it is right now. pTGC was like a third of the price it is right now. So you have to kind of take into consideration when you do get to these lower levels and when you move up multiple X's in sometimes a short amount of time, and when the general market pulls back a little bit, it's not an odd thing to see a slight pullback on your sub ecosystem, if that's pTGC or if that's PulseChain. But what that does is that lets new people in, some old people out, and then it kind of creates that floor, that range to get to that next level. But you're 100% right. We have to look at the positive things in front of us right now. The positive things in front of us right now is, yeah, prices might be a little bit down, but for the most part, a lot of our community is healthy. And we have a lot of good things coming in the future for this ecosystem.
Yeah. I mean, usually I put up the pTGC chart on my computer, for the viewers on YouTube. And then, but today I had the forethought to zoom out. I was like, let's zoom out on this thing instead of, just looking at a month's worth of history or whatever. And so zoomed out on the weekly, the chart looks very healthy. And if you take a measurement like I just did from the end of the first week of pTGC's existence to present, it's up 379,000%. And during that time that it increased by 379,000%, it was up against an L1 that has done nothing but practically go down. Because isn't PulseChain lower now than when pTGC launched?
I believe it is. it's definitely around this range. I kind of made a post today about it too. I was looking at the chart specifically because I remember on August 26th last year is when pTGC broke 1-to-1 for the first time with PulseChain. So that was like a big date that I can easily remember, 1-to-1 with PulseChain. That's tomorrow. So it's been 365 days.
Yeah.
And where are we today? Well, we still are currently over a 10x higher than that.
Yes.
PulseChain is pretty much at the exact same price it was when we passed that level. So I just kind of wanted to zoom out a little bit and say, hey, let's look at the last year and let's look at what we've accomplished in the last year. Our liquidity is so much bigger. Our web is so much bigger. Our price in PLS terms is 10x higher. We've bought and burnt a ton of supply. So we've bought in existing holders out of their position who didn't want to be along for the long ride. And we've also enlarged our holders by thousands. So we've covered a lot of ground in the last year. And it's just nice to see that we've been able to cover this ground with PulseChain being relatively flat. And the sweet thing about all this is I don't think PulseChain's going to be relatively flat.
No. Yeah. PulseChain is right now is where it was on October 16th, about a week after pTGC launched. It's in the same range. Actually, it might even be a little bit lower. If I zeroed in on it, I bet it's a little lower right now than when pTGC launched. And pTGC has done a number of X's. Would there be any value in looking at the price of Pulse on October 26th last year? Let's see.
It's definitely a little higher because that's when Pulse started making its run upwards.
Okay.
These levels, but
yep, we were at 35 on this day. Well, tomorrow, last year, 4035. So
it's super awesome to see though, because August 26th was a big date for pTGC. Hitting that 1-to-1 ratio with Pulse was a big deal. And again, coming full circle, 1 year past when we hit that 1-to-1, which was a good milestone for pTGC, we're still holding ground 10x higher. And all of our metrics that we care about, how much we've bought and burnt in this last year, how much liquidity we've been able to add in this last year, the amount of funds that we have sitting in reserve built up from the last year up. And then our community has obviously grown in the last year as well. We've gotten a lot of great community members on board in the last year and educated, for when this bull run does happen, when new users start coming into PulseChain, because that's the one metric that we've yet to see out of PulseChain. The people who are on PulseChain today are still the same people from technically 3 years ago, 2 years ago. With the new inflow of people, we have a lot of educated people, holders, community members to educate these new users when they do come in.
Yeah. And people are coming. I saw a post on Twitter earlier today. It was a guy who came over from Solana and he's like, hey guys, you can't, believe everything you see on X and Telegram and everything, but especially during times of upheaval, I just want to throw that in. And by the way, I said just a few minutes ago, I'm in a couple of telegrams, but this is my main squeeze. I'm not in any other coin groups, by the way. I just wanted to make that clear. I don't know why. I wanted to just make sure that's in the clear. But this guy was so enamored with PulseChain. He says, I think he said he'd been in PulseChain about a week. And he listed, I should have bookmarked the tweet. He listed the reasons he loves PulseChain. And one of them is the speed, the price of transactions, and several other things. But I think he's the litmus test for that there will be other people coming over. And I heard this today. I saw it also on Twitter. There were 15,000 new wallets in the last week. 15,000 new PulseChain wallets in the last week. That's a lot. It's a lot of new wallets.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, like those metrics, because price doesn't necessarily show that. So you're kind of wondering where those are coming from and how much those wallets are holding and bringing in. But even if half of them or a quarter of them are new users, and each new user is bringing in $1,000 to $5,000, over time that really starts to add up. If we can increase our holder count by 20x this cycle, you know, if we take 10,000 active holders, like, and I mean active people who are kind of really paying attention, really active, have decent holdings and working as a community. If we go from 10,000 to 200,000 in the next few months, this would be massive for the growth of PulseChain. And I do think stuff like that's possible because that's how much I think Hex increased during the bull run of Hex. I don't know the exact numbers, but just if I had to guess from price, from how much control Hex had over the YouTube algorithm, I would bet that the holding count increased drastically over just a few months.
Yeah.
And I think Richard obviously's got somewhat of the same plan in store. And I definitely see a situation where we increase the holder base of PulseChain greatly in a short amount of time. And that's awesome for pTGC and UFO. These are brand new people that we can educate and onboard to an amazing product that's been battle tested for 2 years, strong community that holds well, APY written within code, and hyper-deflationary. So a lot of the things that these users are actually looking for when they come into crypto, the fact that we can appreciate over time, you know, look at the last year. We've been able to do a 10x in the last year in a pretty unfavorable environment. So we can kind of say, okay, well, even in unfavorable environments, our system can actually self-sustain. Our system can grow and give price appreciation in environments that aren't even in the favor, in environments that don't even have really a new user base in the last year, but we're still able to go up in price. So what happens when new users do start to flow in? We can help on the onboarding, but also onboarding comes from the blockchain and other great products on the blockchain as well, X, PulseX, maybe some help from Richard and some of the marketing coming out soon, and green candles.
Right. Yeah. I think that the time for the market, the bull market, the bull run is drawing close, and things are going to start popping off, I think, here very, very soon. We might have to wait another month or two, though. You never know, dude. We waited a long time already.
Did you see that we now have a bridge from Solana to PulseChain?
I heard about that. Okay. Thanks for confirming that, because I was wondering.
Yeah, Richard made a tweet about it. So I don't know if it's live, if it's able to be used by anyone. I don't know what the limits are either, but definitely making it easier for large blockchains to get over here is going to be very important once the green candles come. I definitely don't think that timing is on accident. So I think they're just getting that stuff set up. So when the green candles do start to come, the marketing starts to come, it is easy for users to get over here and get exposed to a great community and ecosystem.
I'm trying to find that bridge right now on Liberty Swap.
Yeah, I saw the tweet from Richard's account.
Well, I see there is a selection for Solana. You can connect your wallet, obviously, to Liberty Swap. Select Solana. Or you can go back. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to work this. It looks different, though. I can tell you that the Liberty Swap has changed since the last time I looked at it. Well, there it is. Solana, USDC and Solana. You can go from USDC and Solana to USDC and PulseChain.
Yeah, that's super cool. Have you used Liberty Swap yet, personally?
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Nice.
Seamless, perfect, fast, cheap. Yeah. I might be using it again tomorrow, actually. I'm like, Dad. Now might be a good time.
Yeah, it really does feel like a good time if you have any onboards to get into pTGC, UFO, or PulseChain in general, because it seems like we're at cheaper. Well, we are at cheaper prices than a lot of people sacrificed 40 years ago. So you kind of don't have to. It seems like they're not going to have to do the waiting, but they're reaping the rewards of the cheaper prices. And when you look at it, like the risk to reward there is so small right now, especially because the timeline is like so short at the moment. It just seems like there obviously is so much risk in crypto in general, but just due to the environment that we're in, where we are in the bull market, where Richard is in his marketing push, and where PulseChain is at as far as a blockchain goes, as far as price, to me, it doesn't look too risky.
Sure.
Which also goes for the good sustainable projects on the chain as well.
Yeah. Well, you've got that risk to reward ratio. You know, I look at it like a little bit of risk, major reward, big unknown reward. I mean, you risk a finite amount, like a known amount. Like let's say somebody's going to put in $1,000. All right, I'm risking $1,000. But the upside is, I don't know what it could be. And that is what to me is the most exciting aspect about crypto and PulseChain in particular is the unknown.
Yeah, I have a onboard that I've been kind of working on for a while now, and I was telling them the other day, I'm like, hey, if you don't hurry up, I'm not going to onboard you, because I do not want to onboard you once it's 10 to 20x higher.
Yeah. My dilemma is I don't want to onboard any more people into, I onboarded a bunch of people into Hex, and it hasn't gone well for them, but it ain't over yet either. And so that's one of my hesitations. But I have brought several people into the Grays, Currencies, and I'm excited for them. I am like genuinely very excited for how the Grays could change their lives on PulseChain. None of my onboards are holding PulseChain. They're all holding either Hex on Ethereum and PulseChain or pTGC and UFO.
Nice. Yeah, obviously, if they got in a year ago, they'd be up 10x compared to holding PulseChain, so that's good.
Yep. One of my onboards did, and another one got in about 4 months ago, and she came in the other week, and because I was like, well, maybe we should think about staking this stuff, staking the pTGC, you know, and so we did that, and then she kind of wanted to see how it works, and she's old enough to be my mother. So when she came in, and I was showing her a little bit how it worked, and it was a little bit over her head. But in the process of showing her a few things, she noticed that she had done a more than double, and she was very, very overjoyed. And I was like, "Oh yeah, we could do a lot more than this. You know, not financial advice. It could all go to zero, but we could do a lot more than this." She was pretty excited.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Some people, all they want to do with their crypto gains is do a little bit of traveling, you know, or something special for family members. You know, they don't have ideas of, you know, investing in other assets, other asset classes, and that sort of thing. They just want a little bit of something to go do something fun with, you know, and that's how this lady is. How does Spaces go on Saturday? I listened into a little bit of it, probably 45 minutes of it, and it was good. But you want to give me like a recap? I mean, good for me. It'd be good for me to hear, and perhaps everyone else.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even remember what we talked about.
We were
Spaces kind of mashing together.
Yeah,
that's why it's recorded, Prairie. That's why it's recorded, bro.
You're right.
trying to make it work too hard, man.
I listened
it wasn't enough. We sat in there for 3 hours, dude.
Well, we like I download the spaces from my YouTube, but I don't download them. I can't not download them from X, but I could listen to him. I'll be honest. But I remember you guys were talking about the ratio of what was it, Mando? You were mentioning it was the ratio of ETH to Pulse or something like that. That was pretty exciting to ponder.
Well, not right now. Friggin' ETH to Pulse ratio is friggin' wrecked. It's like 95 million Pulse to 1 ETH right now. So yeah, Pulse is wrecked against ETH.
Okay. Are we shaking out more weak hands? Is this the final shakeout?
At this point, man, I just think that my personal opinion is I've been tweeting about it. I just think Richard is going to say it. I just think he's in complete control of the blockchain's price at this point. It's not going to go until he wants it to for whatever those strategic reasons are.
Yeah. I saw a post in a chat today. I'm in the smallest chat I'm in. There's literally like 4 guys in there. And one of the guys posted a picture. I'm pulling it up right now. And this was 5 days ago. A guy buys $88,000 in Hex. I'm pretty sure it's Hex. It doesn't say. He buys $88,000 5 days ago. 2 days later, he sells it for $85,000. And then, no, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. He sells $88,000 5 days ago. 3 days later, he buys $84,000. And then the next day he makes a bunch of sells, like 5,000, 4,000, 27,000. And it's the same wallet. And the point of the post was, A, the guy's retarded, but B, it looks like it's a bot. Almost like an automated wallet keeping us in the channel. And I keep hearing that. I keep hearing like whispers of, keeping the PulseChain price down or the Hex price down. Do you think there's any merit to that? I mean, maybe there's some bots doing that. It could certainly be set up, and I could see a reason for keeping the price down. Absolutely, for a dramatic, upswing. I just don't know whether it's actually truly happening or if it's just hearsay.
Yeah, I think there's tons of different smart contracts out there, or bots, whatever you want to call them, that people program to do different things. Some people have bots that just literally wait for certain prices and then trade, limit orders, etc. This could just be a bot that's meant to suppress price. Who knows? Could be a large player. Maybe it's an arbitrage bot. But to stay in a channel, I think that would be kind of odd, but maybe that's the case. I would have to look at the transactions themselves and look at the wallet itself to see what it's really doing and if it's making anything, etc.
Right.
I'll be honest. If you're watching B-Roots on his TA, it's doing exactly what he said it was going to do weeks ago.
Cool.
Going right back down to that retest. Anytime you go up that fast, you're going to have a retest. And on top of that, you got the reflexivity between Bitcoin and ETH, which, you have some big players in Bitcoin sell everything down. And then, so yeah, it's sometimes I'm like, man, every time you have a local talk and Pulse, just sell that shit because it's going to come back down. Every time, just local top, everyone's like, yay, sell that shit.
Yep.
You're going to get way more. And that's just the way that it works. but you don't see some mega or MAGA or whatever retracement.
Nope.
You see it doing a standard TA retest of the 4,500 range, which is exactly what is indicative of a pretty standard. It almost looks like a cup and handles forming in a way now. So, and then it got right back up. So, to me, it's a nice uptrend. We would like to see it happen a little bit faster than it is, but it's an uptrend. And what do we have? We had 8 weeks? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks of green candles. And now we've had this is the second week of red. That's normal.
Yep.
Normal reality.
It looks like a big W to me on the weekly, which means win. Yep. Paladin YYZ says prices are garbage, but sentiment is very bullish. Agreed.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have people reach out to me. I know you do too. It's, you can sense sometimes from certain people in particular, you can sense fear. Yeah. Everybody has their limits, you know. I think my limits must be pretty high because I'm not fearful at all.
Yeah, but you also haven't been sitting in the cores only for 2 years.
Right.
Imagine if you had.
Oof.
Imagine if you weren't active on the chain and you weren't smart enough to actually look for other cool things on PulseChain this whole time. That's rough. That's a rough position.
Yeah, for sure. Also, just staying plugged in to like spaces for pTGC, staying plugged into positive stuff on whether it's Telegram or Twitter. You know, like I keep telling my wife, I says, I mean, if all you do is look at the charts right now, it looks horrible. But if you know what is going on behind the scenes, everything is just uber bullish right now. But you have to be plugged in to know what's going on behind the scenes. And that takes time. And not everybody has time to do that either. Was there any?
I agree with that. I think a lot of people don't have time. You know what I mean? A lot of people have full-time jobs and stuff like that. Kids they have to take care of after work, so on and so forth. So it is very difficult to stay super locked in and constantly be looking for that next thing. I really hope pTGC and UFO become a good solution for that. Once it, as PulseChain grows and as this bull run kind of carries on, the bull run does bring in those people who can't stay like uber focused on it because the green candles eventually kind of break down that wall and does get their attention. And they are looking for more long-term places where they can store value that has the ability for good price appreciation, right? And they don't want to have to worry about making a trade late at night or staying up throughout the night to get out or get in for the next thing. It's very busy people, right? And I hope as PulseChain grows and as we grow, as we start to garner some more attention, we can get a lot of those people that are coming in specifically for like, hey, I just want a few crypto plays. I want some things that can appreciate and help change my family's life. I want things that are safe, secure, battle tested, good market cap, good entries, still got a lot of room to run, but also not something I have to look at every 15 minutes either to make sure it's still alive.
Right. Paladin XYZ says, I'm hearing genuine optimism backed up by new developments and macro conditions. It doesn't sound like we need exit liquidity, FOMO. Yep. Were there any Richard Hart tweets that we should read? I mean, the one about the Solana bridge, he's so funny. He's like, well, Apparently, a bridge from Solana to PulseChain was just opened on LibertySwap.finance. Looks like they have BSC, Arbitrum, and Ethereum all to PulseChain as well. He just says that like he didn't already know about it. He just toss it across the plate real softly. I kind of love his approach on this tweet.
Richard's approach is a freaking psyop.
You don't say.
I'm telling you right now. It's a freaking psyop, dude.
You can't believe this. Listen, I'll be real plain. You can't trust anything he says. You want to know why? I'll show everybody right now. On his, right there, on his Twitter, on his profile, it says, Richard only communicates in person. Period. So take it all with a grain of salt. But you can still appreciate the guy.
I don't think that counts for the X account, though, dude, obviously.
He said, well, for legal purposes. For legal purposes, it does. Because he goes on, he says he doesn't use Twitter, Telegram, social media.
It doesn't matter what he says when in public everyone knows that's a fucking lie, dude, right? So
yeah, I don't.
He obviously communicates using X.
Oh yeah.
So,
but he does, but he doesn't. It's one of those things. He can't be held liable. Let's put it that way.
Maybe he just needs direct contact, direct messaging, right?
Yeah. But anyhow, I like the approach of this tweet. Yeah, apparently a bridge from Solana to PulseChain was just opened up. So all the Solana bros can come on over now, by the way. They can come over, and I think I stated this on the last Spaces. Some guy, one of my buddies, he's like, hey man, I was playing around on Pump.tires, and versus Pump.fun is night and day. Pump.tires is way better. I'm like, yeah, man, bring it on. Let's bring in the Solana bros, faster, cheaper, funner. Get your index token to the Pulse network, pTGC, UFO. Get your position there first, and then go play around in the casino. Go have fun after you get your position in the Gray's currencies.
Yeah, that was one thing I was kind of talking a little bit about last Space is for pTGC and UFO, how the whole casino side or the meme coin side of PulseChain is set up with the Pump.tires is everything that's launching there is helping the price of PulseChain compared to how it's set up on Solana. And Solana obviously did very well off of just the onboarding that Pump.fun did, but really the tokenomics of Pump.fun does nothing good for Solana. You have to literally sell your Solana for the stable to even be exposed to the tokens launching on Pump.fun. And then also there is fees that go to a dev, and that dev has been known to just cash out all of that value and leave the chain with all of that value. What we have here on PulseChain is every single token actually gets bonded with Pulse. So to even be exposed to tokens in Pump.tires, you have to own Pulse first, or you don't have to sell your Pulse to get the stable to then get the Pump.tires token. And even every token that dies, so like if you look at Solana, I'm sure it's more than this, but let's say 100 tokens launch and die daily. I really don't know anyone that plays on Solana could probably answer that, but that's a bunch of dead liquidity pools with stable coins stuck in them. Imagine if every single one of those dead liquidity pools, if it's only 100 a day or 50 a day, had a couple grand or $5 grand of PulseChain stuck in it, just stuck there forever, because no one could ever remove that liquidity, because that's how these systems are set up. It pretty much burns liquidity. And then on top of it, all of these things that launch on Pump.tires, they get launched into V1 liquidity, and pretty much all of the fees in the V1 liquidity goes to buying and burning PulseX. So the amount of buying and burning on the volume from these meme tokens that launch on Pump.tires actually does a lot of good for the PulseX price. And luckily for PT, we own a very large share of the PulseX token chain. And we have those tokens bonded to pTGC, making it to where as PulseX rise, we rise with it. And then as we rise, we help PulseX out as too. It's a very mutual relationship there, but two hyper-deflationary assets bonded together, dragging each other up in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge advantage. The fact that I don't even really want to call it a monopoly, but Richard's kind of monopolized his own blockchain and took in over the largest products that have been built on other blockchains. He's been the builder, or his team, if you want to say that, has been the builder of these products on his chain, making it so all of that value that's usually extracted by other teams, because other teams are usually the developers of these products, and usually products developed on blockchain extract the value that they make. They don't keep the value on, actually leave with the value. Well, he hasn't made it to where, first off, there's no real value extraction because he's made it to where like all of these things just feed themselves. But then he's also the one that's the creator of all these things. So even the small portions that do go to the product, for example, PulseX, like the fee to transact on the DEX, there's a token attached to it that actually helps drag up other tokens on the blockchain. So since Pulse is connected to PulseX and PulseX is hyper-deflationary, well, you can't get PulseX without having Pulse, right? So every single time PulseX is buying and burning itself, it's making Pulse actually higher in price because everything's bonded in liquidity together. We haven't really gotten to see the demand side to any of these products. We've just been kind of making the supplies very, very scarce or deflationary, so on and so forth. But if demand appears here on PulseChain sooner or later, I could imagine prices getting really ridiculous very quickly because there's just not a lot of tokens for anyone. Like if you look at the liquidity pools, for an example, I was looking at the liquidity pool of PulseX. There's only like 2.7% of the PulseX supply even on the market for purchase. Very similar as pTGC. The 2.7% of the supply is PTGC. They're very similar. It's kind of funny that they're so similar. Like same amount of liquidity almost, both hyper deflationary, both can do very high amounts of buy and burns, both heavily bonded together, but and then they both have very little supply even for the purchase. So when demand flows in, if anyone these products, and it doesn't even have to be anyone, like literally volume could just pick up on chain, and that's the anyone. Right now we've been seeing roughly $20,000 of buy and burns happen daily. Like let's just imagine 10x or a 100 would be crazy, but 10x increase of volume on chain. Well, that goes from $20,000 daily of buy and burns to very quickly $200,000 of buy and burns.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the liquidity PulseX has, if you take $200,000 of buy pressure on PulseX for just a week, that's doubling the price pretty much every week.
Oof. Yeah, man. Yeah, do that
just from an increase of volume.
Wow. You don't have to do that for very many weeks for it to be
exactly
explosive. Yeah.
With no one even buying it. So these users, in quotes, users, it's really just a dead address, buying, they can never sell. So then price just gets pushed higher and higher and higher. But there's no one to take profits besides the existence that also hold the tokens. But what we're hoping is a new flow of demand comes in. So it's not only the smart contracts buying, but people who actually want to be exposed to these great products. And this is what I believe will happen with pTGC too. You have the smart contracts of UFO and pTGC just buying and burning itself. And with also an increase in volume should increase the buy and burn and price move up. Well, then in turn, this also should be attracting more users. So even if the old users want to take a little bit of profit, there should be, and this is how it worked on every other token that was successful, there's a line of users willing to take those tokens off their hands when retail is actually flowing into the markets. When PLS starts going up, PLS moving up is a direct indication that new money is flowing on. When new money is flowing onto the blockchain, that means there's new users that want to expose themselves to great products. When PLS is sitting stagnant or going down, that means no one new is coming over. That means there's no new value here. So if you look at PLS's price, it's the same price it was 2 years ago. You're same price it was a year ago even. There's no new money here. But when there's new money, that means there's people that actually want to get exposed to these products. So even if some of the existing holders of PulseX, Pulse, Hex, if they want to take some profits, that's okay, because there's actually a line of new money coming in wanting to be exposed to the products. Especially if you compare what these products are, even pTGC and UFO, to what exists on other chains. With if you look at decent amounts of money, right? Like not someone that has $20 just looking to gamble, but someone, let's say, that's coming in with $100,000, and they say, "Hey, I'm looking for something that appreciates in price, consistent, track record to show it. I want something that's scarce, maybe deflationary. I want something that pays me APY for hopefully not providing liquidity, because when you provide liquidity, you have impermanent loss, which usually eats up most of the APY, if not all of it. So I want something I'm earning APY for holding up the token's price." pTGC is one of the only products that exists that hits all of these boxes. Usually people have to compromise the APY side, or the deflation side, or the scarcity side, or the self-custody side. They usually don't get every box that they're looking for. This was kind of my problem when I was looking to bring money into crypto from, hard work in the outside world. I was looking for things to invest in long term. There isn't a lot of stuff actually out there where you have the ability to do X's. Like, this is opportunity that PulseChain kind of presents, is you still have the opportunity, crazy amounts of X's, great price appreciation, but then also you can be somewhat secure, and you can have liquidity, and possibly in the future way more liquidity. With just PulseChain going up 10x, you go from having a $25 million liquidity web to a $250 million liquidity web, just like that. And big players are looking for that type of liquidity, because a big whale, they can't swim in a fishbowl. Most on chain are just a fishbowl. They only got $1 million in liquidity. Well, how is a whale supposed to come in with $1 million if your project only has $1 million of liquidity? They can't. Right. They're too big for that environment. So they have to look for the tokens, the ecosystems that have 20, 30, $40 million of liquidity there, because they need enough liquid for their whale to swim in, right? For themselves to be exposed in. They can't put themselves in small tokens.
Right. There have literally been 36,000 new wallets in PulseChain so far in the month of August. Since I
forget what the point of all that was, to be honest with you, but that's where the rant ended.
I was counting the number of new wallets, just kind of confirming the 15,000 in the last week. And I count about 36,000 new wallets on PulseChain in the last, in the month of August so far. And we're almost over. It's the 25th, but 36,000 new wallets in August. So it's increased from 1.4 million to 1.44 million, basically. I was trying to figure out what that is in a percent. Does anybody else care to come up and speak?
Yeah, no one has their hand raised. Richard had a pretty good tweet over the weekend. I don't really know what it meant, but it had guns, cars, and girls in it.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one. That was August 22nd. So that was Friday. He says the nonprofit needs to print the mailing labels now. Post your ideas. After the addresses and barcode and postage, there's extremely little room for text and images. Now is your chance to play with the AI image generators. here's a rough outline, but it's for a 5x7 inch. They've only got 4x6 inches to print on because it's a label. So you have to imagine the 4x6 placed on the 7.5x6 bubble envelope. I saw a pretty PulseChain gradient color border around the entire label and a bit thick to show off. And he's just going on and about the labels. And a cool sticker. I mean, what were your takeaways from this?
Yeah, nothing really. I just was more interested that he had these group of pictures down at the bottom.
Yep.
I didn't really
Trevor,
even
I
get
heard
the
that, Trevor, if you're there listening, sorry, Zen. I saw the tweet earlier today, I think, regarding the marketing campaign. And if there's anything that you can, share about it, give us, for people actually showing up, a little alpha, that'd be great, if you can. I actually have a call with SJ here in about an hour to get with her on that, so I'll see what I can get.
Right on.
Yeah, what's up, dudes? How you guys doing?
I'm good. Trevor, can you give us, it sounds like you may have, spoke with some people that are actually participating and maybe, do you have any information you can give us?
Yeah. In respect to, it's not like I have some massive proprietary information or anything like that.
No, we wouldn't want that.
I might know a little bit more than the average person, but I've gotten messages from some other people who definitely have been sniffing things out, and that's cool, but and I'm gonna preface it. I'll preface it with this. It's not about the devices. So if you're obsessing over what the device is and all that kind of stuff, you're already way off the map. Don't after kind of some combos today, it's not about the device, what the device is. I don't really, and I've never, quite frankly, cared. At first I did, and I was like, whatever. So those that don't know me, my background is in product launches, merch specifically. I've been a part of some extremely large activations for Fortune 100 companies before. I've helped develop product for the Trump administration. I've helped. I'm the merch guy. Okay, you put a logo on it, I'm your guy. And so I have all sorts of contacts all over the world for this kind of stuff. And in my talks today, we were talking about quantity. So specifically in regards to the quantity, it was shocking, is the word. Just shocking. I'll give you a prime example. I was a part of the team that did a mass execution of a brand they're called LaCroix sparkling water. I'm sure you've had their water before. I was a part of that back in 2018, 17, when they were the only one on the market, and they had pretty much the entire sparkling water market share. Bubbly was not out, nothing. That campaign was really incredible. The quantities of this device that Richard's, per my understanding, if these quantities are accurate, they seem to be about 98% accurate. This is the quantities are on a scale that's kind of, quite frankly, a little bit unfathomable.
Tens of millions.
Up there, yeah.
Sweet.
And man, this is my background. I know product. I know distribution. I know overseas. I probably know the factory this stuff came from. And so the quantity is just absolutely mind-blowing. And so for those that don't know, there's a lot of studies that have come out. You can go look them up, particularly one from ASI, the Advertising Specialty Institute, that they did a thing a while back in regards to like electronic devices and their success rates, right? And a top success rate for an electronic promotional item distributed, a top tier success, is going to be around 3 to 4%. And so I was running some numbers today on a spreadsheet. was running these rough calculations. Okay, X amount of pieces over X amount of time. And I was shooting low. I was doing like 2%. Mm-hmm. If 2% of this is converted and 2% of these people purchase $500 or less of this cryptocurrency for this chain, the money, there's a lot of commas.
Sure. Just tell it like it is, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of commas. It's in the billions, and injected into the chain. And so, yeah, man, I usually, dude, you guys know me, man. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there are times I'll put a little spicy tweet out there, you know what I mean, just to kind of stir the pot a little bit. But for the most part, I'm a pretty level-headed guy, and you know, Mando, you know me, but I'm telling you, man, after my conversations today.
And we're all putting spicy tweets out there this week.
Dude, which by the way, dude, yours was so well worded. I seriously, dude, great. I love that tweet. But like, yeah, man, I'm just ultra bullish. I'm honestly ready to like turn the page, dude. Get over the stupid devices and what they are.
Yeah.
It's just as stupid. Let's turn the page. Let's pump the chain. Let's get the name out there. We care about the name. But I can tell you this. This will be the biggest, hands down, the biggest marketing campaign in crypto as far as the physical product goes.
Yeah, man.
That's for sure. Whether the product is some mind-blowing device or some piece of garbage, tchotchke thing, whatever, it's going to be cool. And the quantity, man, gets eyes on it. You know, and hey, you know, I mean, I don't see it flopping, but whatever. So it's like, it's the effort. It's the effort. The fact that there's all these there's you know, these devices that could potentially draw a lot of eyes to some assets that we all love. Like, I get hyped about that, man. And my background is in product, and I know this stuff very, very, very freaking well. And the sheer quantities is shocking.
Let me ask you this, Trevor. You know, in marketing, you want to hit your target. It's almost like a punching match. You want to punch them until they go down. Right. Is this going to be a one and done, or is it going to be in waves?
No, there's no way. There's no way it can be one and done.
I mean, one and done. Like, are the recipients going to get one and that's it? Or are they going to get hit several times?
The only, I mean, even mathematically, they're going to have to go out, and just mathematically, they'd have to go out in waves. And the waves would probably extend into the spring next year. Like, it's just like, it's a lot, man. It's not like you could just like, yeah, the dude came to play ball. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's also a brand recognition thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally, man. And I don't want, for the love of God, guys, I don't want to be that guy. I don't have some crazy insider information. I'm just good at product, and I'm good at knowing what shipments are at the port and all that other fun stuff. And I got friends in weird places and all that kind of stuff. But all I'm saying is just the quantity. The quantity is so impressive. It's so impressive. If it was a postcard, whatever, it's still freaking impressive. Like, it's just a lot, man. And when you say something or do something or give away something a lot, like, it just, you can't stop. You know, people ask questions. I'm in that world of putting people's, you know, logos on stuff, and I have been for 15 years. And it's just, good God, man, it's a lot. It's a whole lot, and it's going to take a lot of manpower to roll it out. So,
whew. Awesome. Thanks, man.
I'm speechless, man. I'm so excited about it. I know how effective that kind of marketing can be. And, you know, you're like, oh, a 2% recipient rate, 4%, you know, conversion rate. You're like, whatever. That's not very exciting. Oh, it is actually very exciting.
Incredible. A 4% success rate. Holy living crap, man. That's incredible. If Richard can seal the deal on just 1.5 to 2, I mean, jeez, dude.
And $500.
It's just,
you know,
just $500 of crypto. Like, if you just look it up, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna snag $500. Like, and it was like 1.5 to 2.5%. I was just like, dude, there's no way. Double check my calculation.
And he's sending this to strategic, certain maybe zip codes or certain people, because when you get a list from USA List or whatever, you can get very granular in who your target is.
Yeah, I genuinely am not the guy to speak into that.
Sure, but I imagine the people he sent them to got way more than just $500 laying around.
I would imagine so. I would definitely I'm with you, bro. I would totally assume. So
We were motoring around a large lake up here in the Northwest, and there's like hundreds of lakes around, this in all these states. And you look at these homes on the shoreline, like, whoa, man, there is so much money in this country. I was explaining to my wife, I said, every one of those is a potential 10 grand into PulseChain.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. Like I'm really, really excited for it. More than anything, I got to be honest, I'm just ready to kind of turn the page and see what the next chapter of PulseChain looks like. You know what I mean? With and I don't mean to like steer the conversation away from this, but with Ethereum doing its thing and everything's kind of playing out, man. Bitcoin has had a hell of a run up, and then still got some gas in the tank. It looks like the BTC to ETH charts, looking healthy as well. ETH needs to steal the show, and then right after ETH, some of these larger cap altcoins, and then of course, alt season. So like we're still on target, in my opinion. So, but it's going to be really cool.
Did you see, Trevor, that one of those big guys that dumped all that Bitcoin dumped it all for ETH? It was like almost 70,000 ETH worth of Bitcoin.
Did he? And he just clipped it right out of Bitcoin, just bloop.
Just freaking straight into ETH, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't give a damn.
Dude, it makes logical sense, man. In my honest opinion, actually, I will see, but I'm just for shits and giggles, man. I kind of think ETH might, chill out a little bit next month. It's been on a tear, dude. If you go look at the monthly, it's been on a hell of a tear. It might just chill out next month and then steal the show. October, November, December, somewhere in there. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I don't really, I do care about Ethereum, but PulseChain's my baby, and I want to see PulseChain succeed. I'm really, really hyped though. I think that, I don't know, man. I'm ready for our boy to be back too, at the steering wheel, steering this thing.
You bring up a good point there. I seriously, if Richard don't come back and do his thing, how Richard does his thing,
brother,
live stream, I'm gonna be so freaking pissed. Everybody in crypto wants Richard to come back, dude, and do his thing. I swear to God, it doesn't matter if you're a hater or not, bro.
Dude, it's so true, man. I was talking to a homie just the other day, and it's one of my guys in my neighborhood here. I was talking to him. I didn't anything last cycle or anything, but he was asking me questions about Richard, like when he streams. I was like, bro, dude, this guy, like, I don't know how to explain it, but he's just good. He's a good marketer, and he knows what he's doing. And when he's active and loud and streaming, like, it's just awesome. Some of my best memories of last last cycle was, at the end of the day, like just chilling, and then all of a sudden seeing that tweet live in 15, and you're just like, yes, yes, it just makes the whole night, man. So I pray to God he comes back streaming, man. I'd love nothing more.
KR did a screenshot earlier I saw where the owner of Simplex, which is it's like an onboarding, it's like an aggregator for credit cards, the Simplex, where you can buy it through like MetaMask and stuff like this.
Right. Yeah.
And there was like a conversation, and that the owner of Simplex was basically saying like, yeah, like we want Richard to come back. So there's bigger, there's players out there. This is another tweet that I did earlier today. Everybody doesn't hate Richard.
Nah, man.
That's just silly to think that, like totally. The world doesn't work like that. The world is in a hive mind. You know what I'm saying?
and in my humble, opinion, like, this is Richard's glory cycle, bro. This is the redemption cycle. This is it, man. Last cycle, every single, I mean, dude, there's a damn documentary that talks about it. And I'm not talking about Hex. I'm talking about the fact that it was a scam. And it was scam. Amanda, you remember, dude, you've been since day one. Like, everything was, oh, Hex is a scam. Like, that narrative's old. It's drawn out. It's done. See you later. Whatever. This is the glory lap, man. This is it, man. And I'm excited.
The funny thing is that it was only the people that were participating in it that knew for a fact that it was the opposite of a scam because of how it worked.
Right.
There was never a guarantee on what the price would do, but in terms of scam, nah, and you know, mind you, it did do a 10,000x, and it's still sitting way up from where it started, and everybody got a copy for free on PulseChain, and that's still way up from where it started. But the whole scam thing was really about, because it competed with Bitcoin, but it streamlined everything that Bitcoin did, right? It can pay out APY to holders without needing mining rigs and ASICs and a ton of electricity, and it could pay out the rewards of the inflation to just the average user instead of just these big ASIC mining rig companies. You know, it didn't blow up the environment. Remember, he's always talking about how it just blows up the environment. Like, I remember he used to use that term.
I love it. The guy he's a freaking linguist when it comes to his marketing. Like, he knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing, man. Like, but I don't know. I get it. Today was a red day, man. Some people, it's crazy how many people, like, I was just sitting there and I was like, I'm gonna fire this tweet off, dude. I'm just gonna kind of kick the hornet's nest a little bit. And it's crazy how like this goes for every token, I guess, really. But how many people are still just, like, quite frankly, bitching and complaining. And it's like, dude, like, to me, like, glory tastes a lot sweeter when you actually, like, hunker down and stick to your convictions and finish well and don't bitch and complain. You know, glory tastes much sweeter than the opposite. And looking back and knowing that you just fudded your own bags and you publicly were kind of a little bitch, you know. Like, there's a lot of people who still just, man, I mean, and I get it, dude. Don't get me wrong. I've had my rough days. You know, I absolutely rough patches are there. But these guys that are just still consistently just negative, I'm like, dude, you're the guy that's going to sell on a 2X, straight up. And yep.
Well, you know, and you know, bringing it full circle, if you come back to the pTGC ecosystem and the people who've been participating on PulseChain in the pTGC ecosystem, the exact opposite experience has been true on PulseChain. Because this amazing system that's built on PulseChain has outperformed everything for 25 months, and it's gone all the way up to almost $500 million market cap. And we have amazing community. The community is growing. The user base is growing. The holders are holding. Because you can't be up here in hundreds of millions of market cap without real holders holding.
Oh, dude, you can literally just open the chart, throw it on the daily or the 3-day, and you can see the price floors setting themselves. Go look.
Well,
you know
what I like, man, doing right now is when people are talking, I like to throw it on the log chart, because that log chart shows the correct representation of all of the different red downturns, right? Whether they're 85% retracements or 60% retracements or whatever the retracements are for the entire history of the protocol. And it basically gives you that wide lens, that broad view, that, you know, the view from way up, the satellite view. So when people are feeling like they're feeling this big, like it's over, dude, zoom out, dude. You've been through this like 49 times, bro. and this is actually like only like a 2.2 on the Richter scale compared to the 9.0s we've been through already. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, dude, that recent drop, I'm not gonna lie, that one kind of sucked a little bit. But like, dude, we're fine. We're chilling. You know, we're fine. And that's why I love this community too, man. You guys, dude, we all are. We're massive fans of RH tokens that hold all the cores. I love them. Outside of the cores, I'll be straight real with you, bro. I don't really hold much. I hold pTGC as a very healthy bag, and then I hold the cores, and that's pretty much it. I freaking love pTGC. I think it's going to do some really cool stuff, man. It already has. My God, go look at the chart. You know, but like, there's no telling what happens when mass adoption occurs. You know, and when the real mechanics of this engine kick in, man, dude. It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, Trevor, you're kind of just talking about that. Like, what happens when possibly 5 to 10 million people get a device that educates them on PulseChain or shows them PulseChain, and even if 1% of those people decide to get exposed, that increase of new users, not only to RH tickers, but to pTGC alone, would be massive. It'd be something we've never gotten to experience to date. And I do think it's important when new users come in, you know, I do hope our community is loud and educational, because I want, when users come to PulseChain, I want them to win, right? I want them to land on things that actually respect the value that they just brought in, because we're not going to grow if users come in and just get attracted to scams or stuff like that, because that's a lot of time what happens on other blockchains is the scams usually have money, and those are the things that usually attract. We used to talk about this all the time, is the scams have unlimited amounts of marketing money because they're scams. They're literally making all the money because they're selling. So I do think there will be things popping up on PulseChain that we have to keep our eye out for. But I do think we know pTGC, we know UFO. When users are coming in, they're going to want to be exposed to RH tickers, obviously. And I do think a portion of their value is going to want to make its way to other great alt tokens on the chain. And I personally think pTGC is one of that we can feel comfortable guiding people to, not because of me or Mando or anything, but because it's code and burnt liquidity and code that's been battle tested for 2 years now. And the machine has been proven to work, and it's something that's not seen on any other blockchain that exists. It's a unique product that we have here. So PulseChain, as far as a unique blockchain, and it's got a fun mascot too.
Dude, totally. It's a classic community too. Like, one thing you'll never see me do is do the whole, pTGC is better than PulseChain, or better than Pulse, better than it. Like, I don't know. Like, I love PulseChain. I own it. I love PulseX. I own it. I love X. I own it. Like, I'm not gonna say that. I also love pTGC, and it's cool, man, because what you guys have built here is a community of Richard Hart maximalists, essentially. Even Richard, he's got ink. He said that's his meme token. He said that from the very beginning. So I think a lot of our worldviews are starting to expand compared to last cycle. Is what I'm getting at. So. And by the way, Pastry, you came up here to speak, bro. If you want to jump up here, man, by all means, mic can be yours.
Did anybody else notice that pTGC is the top voted token now on pulsefolio.com? I just noticed 10 minutes ago. It's number 1. UFO.
Well, congratulations, Prairie. I know you've been the military general on that one for like months now, dude.
I love it.
UFO is number 4, but we have the Grays now have the number 1 position on PLS Folio. Shout out to the dev on that too, because he's been working hard in our behalf to make sure that there's an even playing field. I will reach out to him personally and express our thanks for that.
Yeah, I like that site, man. They've done a good job on that site.
Yep.
Yeah, since we're on the topic of upvoting, for anyone listening, if you're ever on Dex Tools, Dex Screener, you can upvote on Pulse or Dex Tools and Dex Screener as well. Not that it matters so much for our existing community, but I do want us to get ready for when new people start coming in from other blockchains. Having those upvoted by quite a bit, showing that our community likes the products, I do think does help when people are just glancing quickly and they see a bunch of votes, stuff like that. It shows them that we're large and we're active.
Yeah, I would say that.
These are sites that they're used to using.
Sure. Okay. And I think we need to get UFO over 1,000. It's at 750 right now. I think that 1,000 metric is very important. It will be a key milestone, kind of like going 1-to-1, pTGC going 1-to-1 to Pulse. It's important. Do you know how frequently we can vote on Dex Screener and Dex Tools? Any idea? Once a day?
I think you as a user can only vote once if I'm correct. So it's not like you can vote multiple times. I could be completely incorrect there. So, yeah, maybe we can look into that. But I guess what I'm getting, let's keep mentioning it. So as we onboard new people, we have 15,000 holders, but I think maybe only 50 upvotes, right? So just kind of, hey, when you're there looking at your token that you hold, maybe if you haven't hit it yet, give it a thumbs up or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. UFO has 750 and pTGC has 3,840. And I believe you're right. I think you can only vote one time for it to count. Yep. So.
Yeah, you go to the TG and it is pinned. Basically just says vote. Just go in there and tap that. Do a quick vote.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, who else wants to jump up? Anybody else want to jump up and make comments?
Yeah, the floor's open. I'm gonna have to hop off here in just a second, but if you guys want to do 10, 15 million ink ballpoint ink pens with the pTGC logo on it, I might know a guy. So I'm kidding.
Yeah, thanks, Trevor. That was a good monologue. We appreciated the alpha on that.
Yeah, dude, I'm hyped. I'm gonna step down, guys. Cheers.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
See you, Trev.
See you, buddy.
For anybody that missed it, the alpha started at 49 minutes. 49 minutes on the spaces and the YouTube for update on postcards. That was good, man. I'm super pumped now.
Yeah, I think we're right. I think we're right there, right? Like they're pretty much getting picked up by port. I think today, tomorrow, something like that. So the light at the end of the tunnel is like right in front of us.
He said and those postcards, whatever they are, the mailers could be going out all the way through next spring into the summer even. And you know what that means? Just a constant drip, drip, drip of marketing material. And I like that better than a huge, big shot. I like that steady, constant. That way, Joe is at work and he gets the postcard and he's telling Susie about it. And Susie, she brushes it off. And then 3 weeks later, Susie gets the postcard. And then she's like, and then she'll reach out to Joe. And she's had 3 weeks to think about it though, and talk it over with her husband. And next thing you know, she's getting a position too. So I think that a slow marketing campaign over time would perhaps be more effective than one big shot at once.
Yeah, I think it's also just because they have to make the devices, ship the devices, they have to get the devices, they have to pack, then they have to mail the devices. It's to get that amount of devices out. time-consuming process that obviously sounds like it's going to take half a year.
Yeah, man. Sign me up, man. Where do I contribute? Gonna pump our own bags, man.
Yeah, and I think even like looking at only 500, like how Trevor said, he's kind of running some numbers, and at like 1-2% onboarding ratio, and them using only $500. Personally, I think $500 is on the lower end as far as the average goes.
Absolutely.
Like I think minimally, you know, yeah, I guess there could be some people that only throw $100 at it. But I definitely think on the upper side, like you never know when you're onboarding the next, you know, bigger player that does want to throw $100K in or something like that, and they're actually exposed. And maybe it's not specifically they throw $100K right then, but they throw $5K in and then do a little bit more research and they get more comfortable, and then they throw $10K in, or they throw $5K in, they see price moving up, and then they throw another $20K in, or they tell their brother-in-law or their father-in-law. You know, you never really know how this could actually expand out from just a few of the right people getting to know what PulseChain is.
Right. And Trevor said,
and then mixed with green candles at the same time.
Yes. And he said, like, the outcome of that math experiment that he did was $1 billion. Like $1 billion what? Market cap?
I think he was saying $1 billion of value flowing over into PulseChain.
Somebody was asking. Go ahead.
Which puts PulseChain at some crazy numbers if you typed it in on PM before.
Yeah. Somebody was asking for some moon math for the stream tonight anyhow. So now might be a good time to do that. So let's do it.
Yeah, if you want to just for fun, even put what $1 billion coming into PulseChain could do for PulseChain. Like Trevor was saying, he just running the numbers about how much marketing material is actually going out and just taking some of the numbers that he knows from other products that have been marketed with digital products, like LCD, off of what he knows professionally, what that could equal. And again, I think he was, you know, being pretty modest in the amount of value someone could come in with, $500. Like I personally think that yes, they maybe someone starts with $500, but now they're watching it, and if green candles equals more green candles, people FOMO. You know what I mean? They only have $500 and they just saw that $500 turn into $1,000. They might find a way to get 2,000 more bucks into the thing. They might even go tell a friend, you know?
Yes. Okay. So we're on PAMPy. We just put in $1 billion into Pulse. Let's put sell pressure at 50%, liquidity reduction at 1.9%. That would be, we'll calculate, and we'll take these X's over to look into pTGC. Still calculating. Okay, that would be 11,076 X's. So you go to the moon math calculator. How many X factor do you want to do for pTGC?
It's been a year since we passed 1-to-1, and we've done a 10x. So throw a 10x on there.
Okay, so 10 times 11,078. That's with 50% buy pressure. Sell pressure, by the way.
You're trying to go to like $10 pTGC.
More. I think it's gonna be more. Let's see. Okay. Oh, what happened? Oh, I'm not in the experiment.
Man, that's freaking Jupiter math. That's something great.
Yeah, hold on a second. I had to it's not working. What's wrong? Somebody can figure it out on a calculator too. It's not that difficult. I just refreshed my screen. I've been away from my computer for a few days, so maybe my Moon Math calculator needs to get warmed up. Oh, here we go. I put the wrong address. X factor 10, and then a 1078x, I believe is what it was. Let's double check.
No, it was 11,000.
Okay, 11,000. 078. And now let's calculate. No. X. Hold on. $57. $57 pTGC.
Yeah.
If 1%, if that happens at just 1%, what's 1% of $56.86? 50 cents, 56 cents. Is that right? Yeah, 56 cents. If that pans out, if just 1% of that scenario pans out, it's 56 cent pTGC. Chick bag. I mean, what else can you say, man? Everybody's got to have their just in case bag if they're on the fence. Yeah, everybody's speechless. Everybody's quiet now because we're all speechless.
Yeah, it's crazy how hard PulseChain can literally move. It's a blockchain that has the fundamentals of a meme token. Technically, it takes such little amounts of value flowing into PulseChain to make it mess that people find mind blowing, and I do believe that there will be a big marketing push. Those numbers that we're kind of running was not even based on Richard or big entities already here bringing in value. We were talking about some new onboards. I saw someone post today a comment saying that don't be surprised if random people start popping up on Twitter showing off their devices. So I thought that was kind of a weird, I didn't know if that was just a tweet or if it was someone who had a little bit more of inside information. But I did want to kind of remind our community, if people are popping up and, wandering into PulseChain, I think it's definitely, as far as all of PulseChain, this isn't just pTGC, for us to be helpful and good attitude, happy, not fighting each other and we normally are, would probably be great for onboarding. So I think for next 6 months, and Green Candles will probably help with this. We can kind of come together as a community and educate and onboard into our ecosystem. We don't want to work super hard to get them here and then, welcome them at the door with a knife to banana or something like that. They're not going to walk in through the door.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We want to be welcoming to the onboardees. And on that, a similar topic is whenever there are times of market shift, lots of things happening, there's also weird things that will happen. Not just scammers, but people in our community that will do weird things or post false things on their Twitter and such. And it's just a time to be vigilant, fact check things, actually check when you see something on Twitter, go over to that screener and fact check it before you repost it. I think that also falls in line with a time where there's going to be a lot of onboarding, is making sure that we're forwarding and reposting factual information. I'm talking to myself mainly.
Yeah, awesome space, guys. I'm excited for a couple weeks, see what comes about. I'm I know Trevor said he didn't really care what the device is, but I agree with him. I don't really think the device matters itself, but I am excited to see what it is. And if it's something that has like a video attached to it or whatever, I'm just excited to see the video. Excited to see if Richard has any new videos coming out in the near future. Would be super sweet. Even if it's just recorded, doesn't need to be live, but just some more information about, you know, where he sees the chain going in the future and how we plan on being successful. Just kind of knowing his vision a little better.
Yeah. I think he's going to be here when they come over too. I think he's going to make himself available to stream and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I want him to be here. I think if we're going to do a massive marketing push, I want people to be able to stumble across recent videos of
Yes.
Richard, not just random people, right? I want Richard to be the one to educate people on his chain, even if that's not off of live videos, even if it's just pre-recorded videos, but giving them some fresh, new, up-to-date videos every so often. Getting information from his mouth himself, not having to decipher what other people think is going on or what people think they should do, I think would be awesome. So, and then obviously we get to reap the rewards of that by getting the videos on it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also important too because there's a lot of past information on the internet. There's a lot of past Richard Hart on the internet, and that's not indicative of present Richard Hart. You know, who the founder of PulseChain is now, post deployment, post SEC win, in the middle of this market cycle. We need to see, people should meet Richard Hart today. I think that'd be a very powerful part of introducing people to PulseChain.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the last memories of Richard Hart doing his live streams and stuff like that, not that I have too much of a problem with it. It's his own life. He can do what he wants. But I definitely think that the Richard that I first started watching, where he was in black T-shirts with the Hex logo in the corner pocket, educating on how it functioned and what his goal was and, his plan for Hex as far as the product goes, that Richard coming back for PulseChain would be a huge asset for the community to lean on, and also a great place for the new onboards to get their information from, as far as being a leader for the blockchain.
Well,
Definitely, like we're right there. Practice for PTC. You have PulseChain, PulseX, Hex could literally start moving up any day now. I know we've been saying that for a year now, but it's definitely some of these last pieces seem to really be falling into place, and we're starting to get the vision of what.
Yep.
Yeah, but like Richard always said, it's all about price, man.
It's all about what?
Price.
Okay.
You can't say that about everything else and then not your own blockchain, man.
Cool, guys. You guys have anything else? You want to wrap it up at an hour and a half today? What do you guys think?
I'm good wrapping it up.
Got any last YouTube comments you want to run through, or quiet over there?
Let me see. There wasn't much. There weren't any questions. I think I stated a few of the comments. Some of the guys are going to vote for the Grays at plsfolio.com. Dosezi says he's been voting twice a day from home and his work computer. I think that counts. Paul Sachs says it's one time per VPN connection. True statement. Yeah. It's good, man. Exciting times. I'm going to get some work done this week. And I'll be doing my presentation about the Grays currencies on Wednesday. I skipped it yesterday because I was out of town. But and then you have a Telegram voice chat tomorrow at 3 p.m. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. For anyone listening, I do VCs in our Telegram that are non-recorded. So if you have any questions that you want to go over, that you just don't feel comfortable talking about on here, or you just don't want to take up people's times up here, we have these VCs for anyone to come in, ask any in-depth questions that they have about pTGC, UFO. No questions. I kind of just run through some stats and analytics, and we'll ramble for 30 minutes or so if nothing comes up. So feel free to hop in there, ask your questions, have conversations. I do think those VCs are going to start to get pretty busy. I think these spaces are going to start to get busy. So if you do have questions, maybe try to get them in before, hopefully, there's a flood of new people that do have questions and comments, and they get active and loud, and PulseChain turns into a blockchain with a lot of new people, which would be super awesome, make these spaces more lively, a lot more stuff to talk about. Prices moving up makes fun stuff to talk about. Also should make the VCs more fun.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe this coming Saturday, we'll have a very lively spaces. But the Saturday spaces, even during a red market, they're always really good anyhow, because everybody's fresh.
Well, prices are cheaper, which it makes me feel good because we're putting in some good hard work trying to educate people on the system while prices are on sale, and usually those have been the best times to get in. So we're helping users get the best deal for this same asset that possibly could be worth 100 times more very soon.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, Zen, is that, and I need to do this every time we stream, but at the end of the stream, for several streams now, like space streams, is I will go to my deck screener and pull up the 15-minute chart for pTGC. It's always green. We always turn the chart green during spaces. It seems that way anyhow. I don't check every time, but the times that I have checked, like the 3 to 4 or 5 times, it's been green.
That's good. Then we just got to keep these going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Seems like a pretty easy solution.
Yeah. Let's see how much we're up since we started. 3%.
I'll be honest, man. I'm ready to see this machine actually turn on.
So I'm ready too.
Because as crazy as it sounds, I know what this thing will do with volume on PulseChain.
Yes.
It's enough to make people's heads blow off.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we've gotten to see it at this level for quite a time now, and I think both of us are excited to see it move to the next level. And the funny part is it could just move a few levels up very quickly. Not just a few gears, but like you said, a crazy number that becomes mind blowing to anyone who stumbles across it.
Crypto Tiger says long-term value generation will make pTGC the GOAT crypto token. And also, Trevor said $2 billion, not $1 billion.
Yes, I mean, right now the system's just stacking. I think it's, every other day or every couple of days, 500 million PulseChain, give or take, depending on volume. Just chilling and just, you want to sell? Get out. The system's just sitting there, just literally just waiting, chugging along. But it's very interesting because that 50th position right now keeps toggling between $1 billion and less than $1 billion. So the distribution, there's like a war right now, distribution right now. If you're actually watching it, it's pretty interesting. Some days the top 50th position will be less than 1 billion. Some days it'll be basically just over $1 billion. I remember when those positions were way more than that.
Oh yeah.
Way more than that. So the distribution is getting much better. New users are coming in, and this is all happening. This is all happening at a very interesting time. I couldn't be happier with the performance of pTGC. It's my opinion, it's the beast.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just wanted to hop in and say I appreciate all the hard work you guys put into these. Zen, Mando, Banana. You guys don't have to do these, but you're always here, and it means a lot. I'm excited for the future, and I think it's going to be an awesome 6 months here for PulseChain and especially pTGC.
Yeah, man, I think so too. I definitely think so too. I think everything is geared up to do its thing, brother. Definitely do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be cool having, I think pTGC has done very well for itself in the last 2 years. And I'm excited for pTGC to do even more, UFO to do more, and I'm excited for Richard's tickers to also start moving up as well. I definitely think the people who have been holding Richard's tickers wrong throughout the last 2 years, year, however long you've been in them, even longer than 4 if you've been in Hex for even longer. It's definitely going to feel good seeing the whole team win together and having the good, sustainable, long-term projects all rising on chain, creating real value over here, a great place that's decentralized, and who knows what kind of products will be built in the near future throughout this bull run to hopefully give not only our community but the whole PulseChain community some good financial freedom opportunities.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're going to call it today.
Sounds good.
Have fun, everyone hanging out with your families. Again, I have a VC tomorrow, Pacific Standard Time. If you have a question or a comment that didn't get answered or you didn't get the chance to ask it, feel free to hop in there and join the conversation. I appreciate it.
We appreciate your time, Zen, and your dedication.
Yeah, no problem at all. I appreciate you guys being here with me, and I'm excited for the future.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, guys.
See you, Mando. See you, Zen. All right, that's it. That's it, guys. How about that? I'm going to fact check that one, Crypto Tiger. I thought he said 1 billion. I hope he did say 2 billion. I'm literally going to go listen to it right now in my car on my way home because I'm going to play it for my wife. She's going to be so excited. I hope, maybe. Oh, we're still streaming. Yikes. Oh well. All right, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you around later this week, and Spaces on Saturday. Yeah, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good bull run. I'm excited for it. Let's go get some rest for that. See ya.